Throwing ass on the gram, getting laughs at the stand. Only she can, only Feehans. It's only Feehans.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of OnlyFeehans with me, Kerryn Elizabeth Feehan. Katie Boyle's here today. I don't know if I usually like build up people's intro, but like you're just like a great person, easy, calm, like casual. You know, some people like come in with this energy that just like gives me anxiety, and you just really put me at ease. Anyway, very funny comedian, Irish comedian Katie Boyle. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I did not know your middle name is Elizabeth.
You didn't?
No, that's my stepmom's name and a version of my sister's name.
Oh, really? A version?
Well, she's Eliza.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But after Elizabeth.
Did I say Elizabeth just now?
Oh, no. What's your middle name?
No, it is Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like geriatric. I'm like, I forgot what I said.
You said Kerryn Elizabeth.
Feehan. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I also refer to Mabel as Mabel Elizabeth when she's in trouble.
Oh, no.
In the dog park. And I must sound like a total lunatic because I will be like, Mabel Elizabeth. They're like, what?
They're looking around for a child and then they see a dog come over to you.
I'm like, she's hairy, she's black. What? And you named her Mabel Elizabeth? So thanks for coming all the way here. Where are you living now?
I live in Astoria, but I was in Chelsea today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
nice.
It's not far, but it actually is a fair walk from the train.
Yeah, you got off at the World Trade Center?
Yeah, but it was a nice walk.
It's pretty. Did you see the monument and all the people? And if you walk, the monument can be to your right.
What is the monument?
Like the pit with all the names, the memorial.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that, but I saw a lot of people in nice clothes and the river. So
I don't like how Google Maps takes you like. Did it take you over there and around?
It took me to the back. Yeah.
What's so silly? There's a gate. Well,
let's tread lightly. We don't want the listeners. You know.
I know. We're always worried about somebody like murdering me. Meanwhile, I post a clip today that says "looking for a guy with knives."
Yeah, that was funny. But we were saying maybe it's because they don't want like poor people to know where it is. We get all confused at the back.
You're not poor, Katie.
I'm okay. I wouldn't think I'm poor, but then if I told you what my savings were, you would probably say I'm poor.
No.
Really?
I don't know, because you'll never be poor to me because I see a lot of me in you, and like we're earners. Like no matter what, we're like we stay afloat.
Yeah. Well, I actually had a conversation with Katie Hannigan the other day. We were talking about women in finance.
Another good Irish fucking Katie Hannigan. Let's go.
And I do have what the recommended for women. Now I'm nearly 32, but it says by 30, so that's fine.
It's fucking fine.
Savings to have.
Oh,
so,
yeah. You have savings? What's that?
Yeah, no, because
I'm blowing all my money on IV drips every week.
I always put everything into savings because I'm scared that I'll get sick in America. Even though I'd probably just come home to Ireland, but
you
still.
get cheaper healthcare there, right?
Yeah. I think it's basically free, but it's not really free. I don't really understand it, but it's way cheaper.
I mean, it's not really free. Like a leprechaun keeps your first child if you have to get in
It's something like...
oh, no.
It's just way cheaper.
Yeah.
Because here, when I had to get stitches, it was $3,000.
Oh, my fucking God. I would have done it for you. I would have sewn you up.
But they should tell you that. But that's what's horrible about this hospital system here in America.
You find out after.
I found out after.
Yeah.
Already I'd have to give my real name and address, and my Irish... undocumented immigrant friend was like, you idiot, you never give your real name. And I was like, I didn't know.
I didn't know, you fucking troll.
I ignored them for so long, but I did get it cheaper because they eventually like a year.
They get tired.
Yeah, and they called me, eventually got through to me, and I was like, I'll just leave the country, because at the time I was only on a year J1, so I didn't give a fuck.
You were like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just leave and I never come back.
Stitches ruined my comedy dreams.
Yeah, well,
you were gonna quit?
I was only like a year into comedy, so I didn't really care. I probably wouldn't have stayed. I was like half threatening.
Yeah.
A cousin here told me to do that, and they knocked it down from $3,000 to $300, so I just paid $300.
That's so asinine.
Yeah.
That number can be that fucking different, and like with a snap of a finger. That's how you know it's all just fraudulent bullshit.
I'm mad into the conspiracy. My conspiracy theory here is that they keep everybody poor and angry at each other.
Absolutely.
So,
poor, fat, sick. They get everybody addicted to sugar. And then it's like, oh, you're sad, so let's put you on antidepressants. Yeah. Oh, no, your brain doesn't work anymore? That's weird.
They put them on so young, too.
The mind-altering shit they're putting kids on, and the fact that they want to put kids on, I mean, it's a different conversation, but hormone shit when they're fucking 12. What? You're going to get it. You were so good when Katie first got
Hi.
You were
Chill
so
out.
good. That probably hurts.
You're scratching me with your long nails.
Hey. Listen, Mabel, you can't
She
eat.
doesn't agree. She wants all the hormones and all the ADHD
Well,
tablets.
that's like mad my pussy's out. But we have more pressing issues. Mabel, chill.
The hormone thing I don't have, A, because I don't want to get in trouble, and B, just because it's like I've heard from different perspectives where it would have been easier when they're younger.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just hope I never have to like. But I will say about the like, so putting your kids on all these medications so young,
Ritalin.
and then you don't even know. Or my friend was on one of my podcasts that I've quit since, but I didn't even realize. So she's a neuroscientist. Her name's Chansu, and she said that with weed, you really shouldn't smoke it before you're 25 because your brain is still developing.
Wow.
And she was like, after 25, go to town. But the problem with all these
well, that explains a lot about me. Like
Because-
in 8th grade, fucking smoking tons of weed.
well, and that's the thing in Ireland. Yeah, we drink loads. But honestly, I think drinking younger is better than smoking. Well, here's the thing: weed makes you chill. Drinking, you might get in a car or whatever, so it's all bad. But we long term can mess up the paths in your brain, like where the wires are going. So yeah, I would just say it's probably best to wait till after 25.
I just feel like all of these drugs that cost so much money that don't cost that much to make, it's just like I liken them to the NRA, where they can't see anything but money. It's
Same with the colleges.
Yeah.
Where is all this money?
It's
It's crazy. Like, what everybody's annoyed about immigrants coming in. What you should be annoyed about is that I'm an immigrant with no debt.
No debt.
No debt.
Right.
So I come in with a
neutral
Clean
slate,
slate.
and it's all profit from here on out. Whereas, millennials or whoever the fuck are like, I mean, I, knock on wood, got a big scholarship. I think my parents took out loans for like $4,000 or something for me for college.
That's okay. That's great.
But my little sister's still paying hers off. It's
Most successful, like, there was a successful seller comedian that we both know, and she was like still working her full-time day job, and I was like, well, you're like performing every night, like 4 times a night, and it's
Right.
good money. And she was like, oh, I'm paying off my student loans still. And I was like, that is horrible.
That's insane.
That's crazy that she's
Can't
living
you just be irresponsible and ignore them?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I don't
that's
know.
what my boyfriend did, but it doesn't make any sense because nowhere does it say he has debt. I don't know how to say that word, debt. Because I was like, I'm figuring this out before we ever get married one day. And
You want to know if you're marrying someone with a lot of debt?
Yeah,
Because you
100%.
take on his debt.
I don't know if I think maybe
you?
you only do if they die. I don't know actually, to be honest. But still, I was trying to figure it out, and he was like, it just disappeared. But I don't know. Maybe his parents paid it off, and he doesn't know.
That sounds kind of like. And listen, I mean, I'm sure they have our number. The government knows what we're fucking doing. They track us. It's going to affect your credit probably. It's
Yeah.
going to be harder for you to do things and buy a house. It's going to take longer, and maybe you'll quit and give up. That's what they want.
Yeah, my credit's good, but they count your years, so my credit history is bad. I'm like, what you want from me? I was in a
So is
different
mine.
country.
Oh, my credit history.
Because you probably got a credit card late.
What's the negative bad thing? It's worse than bad.
Really?
Hey, bitch. What it is? What do you need, slut? Mabel lost 2 pounds since her last checkup, but I've been feeding her more. But we like work out like we're gonna compete in the Olympics in a way. Every day I fantasize about taking her to an agility class. If you know an agility dog class in New York, please let me know. I've been doing like some research, and
I don't know what the word agility is. So.
like obstacle courses for dogs.
Oh, that's
my
so much
pussy out
fun.
again, Pat? I don't care. Blur it. Put the leprechaun over it. Remember that Wayne's World? Remember that sketch? I forget what it was on. Anyway, focus. What was I talking about?
Dog obstacle courses.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it is I think Mabel would really excel, but I also want to wear exercise shorts on TV.
Oh, this would be for TV. Why don't you ask Justin Silver?
Yeah, I will. That's a good... Matt, what? Are you
no.
picturing me running Mabel in the obstacle court?
Just every time
course.
someone brings up like your dog or training or something, it's always just
Justin Silver.
Yeah.
I got to get
He's
him
the
here.
only dog man I know.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
some guys, like Lewis doesn't like Mabel, but like he's such a pussy fucking, I hate him. Like, and then he pretended like he was sad when his dog died and it was all fake. And then he like meets me. He's like, she's too big. She's too big. I'm like, you're a fucking gorilla. Like, you're fucking 400 pounds. And it's all in your big dumb head. Like, Mabel's the tits. And then there's another one of my lovers who didn't like Mabel.
Who was your other lover?
I won't say his name because I want him to have a good career.
He's young.
I mean, not that young.
Oh.
But I just want him to have a good career. And I don't give a fuck about Lewis's.
That's so nice.
But he's not into Mabel either.
Really?
Yeah. He has an allergy. I'm like, take a fucking Alexa or whatever and shut up.
Allergy.
What are they? Allegra. Fucking have Alexa suck your dick and shut the fuck up. What do you have, a cat? Dog?
Nothing now, but I did have a cat in Ireland. He lives with my parents now. He's the best cat ever. So
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stories about him in my comedy, which is a bit sad now that I think about it. But still, he didn't. When my friends originally got him for me, my two best friends back home, they called my boyfriend who I was living with, said, we're going to get Katie a cat for her birthday because I grew up with cats. And he said, no, you can't. But they got him anyway. And I know you love this story. He's a black cat like you. And so when my cousin went to get the cat, he was what are you doing? You're so lovely. You're chilling. But so
You love Katie? You love Katie the way she loved Allie.
Oh, I love
You and Allie Mac. She's acting a similar way. Like, she might fall asleep.
Yeah, you relax. I'll scratch you with my nails. But when my cousin went to get him off a Polish guy,
Don't scare Katie. Don't scare Katie. Hey, listen. Don't scare Katie with your big fucking dog teeth. Like, look at me. I have a couple bruises. Like, can be a little mouthy.
yeah,
But she would never like bite you.
no, she's
Because if
fine.
she did, I'd punch her in the face.
She's
I'm just
good.
kidding. I wouldn't punch her in the face.
But anyway, this
Cat.
cat, the Polish man said it was the only one out of the litter, the black cat that they couldn't have. And then my cousin pretended she didn't understand him and took the cat and walked out.
Excellent.
So got this stolen kitty.
I love it.
And then my ex hated him because he didn't want a cat. And then he pushed me one night and my cat did, you know, that like...
Yes.
And then moved over to my ex's side of the bed. And while looking at him, did a big shit.
I was going to say piss or shit. Yeah.
Shit, like the Amber Heard. I was kind of annoyed when the Amber Heard stuff happened because I tell the joke on stage about him shitting on the bed. And now I have to bring up Amber Heard. I'm like, oh, it's so annoying. But anyway, so it was a great move because cats are, you know, a dog would have bit him and got in trouble, but the cat was just like,
I'll shit all over your pillow,
yeah,
bitch.
I'll fuck with you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Mabes, relájate. Mamacita, por favor, gracias de nada. Relájate.
This is a Madra in Irish.
She needs, what's that?
Dog.
A matra?
Madra.
Madra. She's like, I'll give you an orgasm.
But now he lives in Ireland. But every time I come home, he'll like run to me. But he's like super loyal. Even when my boyfriend was at home, he was trying to call him and he was looking at me like, should I go? And I'm like, you can go. You're mental.
She needs something.
This dog needs Ritalin.
I know.
Oh.
Mabel, she needs her leave me alone bone.
Oh, look, your ears flopped over. There you go.
Either a leave me alone bone or her treat thing.
It says Mabel Elizabeth Feehan on her collar.
Listen, we got that on Chewy. It was on sale. She's like, this is how she is. We were out this morning from 7 a.m. till 9 there's an open dog run down in Battery Park. I do my ditties, take her out from 1 till 2:30. So that's like another hour and a half. We're already outside for almost 4 hours. And right before you came, I took her to the dog park for like a little 20 minutes. And so she's a lot, but she could be even worse.
Yeah, but she's young, right?
She's only a year.
Yeah.
She's a puppy. She's a puppy. It's what people don't understand, you know? I mean, you understand. But Aaron was yelling at her.
Oh.
Remember, Mabel? Remember Aaron yelling? She's very guard dogs. Like, she doesn't sleep in my bed. She sleeps by the door. She loves German Shepherds. There she goes.
What is she, like a Labrador?
Yeah, she's a lab shepherd mix, I think. People say
Labs are very playful.
Yeah. They have nice temperaments. They're like love bugs.
You can hear the food, can't you?
I'm having someone watch her, and I think I'm going to have him bring her to the groomer. So if she has a negative experience, she'll associate it with him, not me.
That's a great idea. I love how even with your dog, you're like,
Evil.
yeah. No, but it's smart evil. It's not even evil. It's just really smart.
I'm like, take her to the vet. I mean, because not the vet, the groomer. Like, because that she likes it there now because we've only gotten treats there. We haven't gotten groomed. So how's comedy going? Pat was talking about. Woo! Good. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did you get scratched or anything?
No.
How's spots? How's the summer looking?
It's good. It's good. It's been busy, which
Yeah.
is good. But yeah, I don't know. I have co-headline in Canada soon.
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm taking a week off to go on a cruise with Leland's parents.
That's your boyfriend, right?
Yeah. And then I have a
cruise
week off
with the parents.
Yeah, and then I have a week off to go to Ireland, but I'm not like doing any shows there. I'm just
Just focus on your family and your friends.
yeah, I'm going back to surprise my sister. She's not going to listen to this because she's 15, but she's got into like a big music festival thing.
Oh, yay.
So, and like for us, I think it's really important. And sometimes people don't give a fuck about the fact that we perform. Is there something here on me?
No, I just.
Oh, okay.
I was joking. No, you're fine.
I thought you were doing the hand movements that Pat does. I was like, I don't understand. Yeah. It's like, move on. But yeah, so, and then the special we're talking about doing they said August, but I asked them to push it to September just because I have too much going on in August.
Right.
So.
And fall's great in the city. It's like.
That's it. It's a bit hot in August.
Anybody
for
who
people
is
to go to
away
stuff.
is back. Oh, you're gonna show Katie your ball?
Oh.
Wow, show her. She loves it. She's so happy for you. What a good ball. Pat, what did you give her?
The tray.
Oh, you gave her the tray? Yeah, she's gonna blow through that in 30 seconds. All right, now she's got her ball though. I think we'll be good. So your sister's in a music festival.
Yeah, it's at Irish Music Festival.
That's great.
Yeah, so
I think it's important to show up for your family when they like invite you to stuff, or even if they don't, or like if you know they're like having these like my sister ran in like a marine marathon one year. It was like a random October, and I'm like, I'll go yell for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
especially
sorry,
'cause, like,
Mabel.
we find it really-
Mabel,
It's okay. We can just ignore her.
this behavior is like,
It's okay.
she's like in love with you.
Yeah, I love you too. That's how I've gotten in trouble with so many men.
They act
I
like
just love them straight away.
This is the most she's snuggled up with anyone.
With any guest,
With any
more
guest.
than Allie Mac. Yeah, she's rubbing her ball all over you. It's pretty sick. Like, I'm hurt. I'm very jealous.
It
I know.
is important what you said though about doing, because comedy is fucking chaotic.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Like we're like, oh, let's do it all the time, every night.
Fuck you.
And
You
I-
fucking imbalanced psycho.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I like to take time off, go home for a week.
nourish yourself. Live a well-rounded life. Be able to interact with people who aren't comedians. Talk about something that isn't comedy.
I know, and then they do those comics, then some of them are still clued in, but then some of them do jokes where
You're like
that's not relatable to the average person.
it's not at all. It's like you're either speaking in memes or like elitist bullshit or like
yeah, you're doing elitist bullshit, and then we all know you're a dog walker as
Right,
well. So
right.
it's like, I mean, who are you to really
stop
tell us
talking
how
about
to live?
Elon Musk. Like he would shit in your mouth.
And
Like,
it's fine if you're a dog walker, but then you're like also like a bit opinionated right now.
you have a lot of opinions for somebody who picks up dog shit.
Yeah, well, and again,
I did it. I'm not saying. Listen.
I would walk dogs too if I needed to, but I'm not on stage being like, and then
these women want to control their own bodies.
yeah.
Like, shut up, dude.
That's
like,
so funny.
But I totally agree with you. And I listen. You successful comics do kind of do comedy every night and are like kind of neurotic about it, and like that's okay. Like if that's your choice, right? Like that's how you want to live every moment, spend every moment stressed out thinking about, generating more material. I gotta make more jokes, I gotta write more content, I gotta get this, I gotta do this, I gotta be on stage. It's like, when do you celebrate anything?
Yeah.
When do you celebrate any of your accomplishments?
Yeah, you have to celebrate the amount of comics that are doing way better than me, and then I see them at a show and they're like, oh, I just, I'm not where I want to be. And I'm like, didn't you just do a Netflix special? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, I'm like, it's still a bit like,
first
what?
of all, like, read the room, you tone deaf piece of shit. Like nobody has any fucking manners or class or finesse, and like finesse. Is finesse something?
Hey,
Fernet.
I knew what you meant. It's like a furry finesse. It's the dog version of finesse. They have none of what Mabel does here.
Yeah, because like there's certain people who just have it and like the charm and like Ronnie Chang walks into a room, he's like in movies crushing, and like he's so earnest and kind and funny and supportive and like on social media and in real life, just like the nicest.
Andrew Schultz is actually
so nice.
So nice.
So
and
nice.
So sweet off stage.
So nice.
And it's like, and he's very humble.
Yep.
Like he comes into the green room and he's just like, hi.
Yeah.
And then you have other comics who come in and they're like not
It's
doing
like,
that well
shut
and have
your
a big
legs,
attitude.
dude.
Yeah.
Like stop sitting so spread eagle
Yeah,
in the fucking
spread
green room.
eagle.
If you're not rolling a joint for me, I'm not really sure what you're doing in here, honestly. Oh, they make me mad.
I've had to like really like up my, cause I'm very like nice and friendly, and that's a big part of like my identity. Cause my dad would always be like, and even my batshit insane mother, who was Lula every single day, one thing enforced was politeness. So that's like,
Isn't that funny?
she's 1 minute she's at the table being like, I'm gonna slip my wrists, and then the next minute she's like, but you gotta say please and thank you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I always, but it actually nearly isn't, like, it's a good quality to have here in terms of easy to work with and all of that.
Right.
But people take advantage of you in the comedy.
Absolutely.
I was hosting and comedians were talking on stage, and I was infuriated because when I got off, it was the comedian I was bringing up.
Right.
And he was blah, 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 so loud that the audience was looking over. And I was like, you guys got to be quiet, you know, because I've just told the audience they can't talk during the set.
I would be so annoyed.
I know. And
I would
was
give
just
him a
like,
shitty intro. I would be a spiteful cunt. I would bring up another comic instead of him.
I
I would
like,
bring myself back up. Guys, you're in for a treat. I'm going to do another 10.
yeah, fuck this guy. Well,
Ugh.
the thing was
What
at a
garbage.
club, but also I think like,
Sorry.
I'm so nice that they're like, they just don't, it's like, sometimes you don't get respect that way. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to use my voice more.
Katie, you're like very good with I was rewatching because I'm a narcissist, like a podcast, and it was me, you, and Colum.
Yeah.
And you fucking like took Colum out at the knees like 5 times.
Good.
Just like little boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. Like
yeah.
these little fucking shots that Colum's brain like wasn't fast enough. Whatever, Katie's a fucking dummy or whatever.
What was that on?
That was Lewis's.
Oh, Lewis's, yeah.
Last podcast. And so
Good.
you have like the ability to fucking like be cutthroat if you want to be. But
100%.
I think it's nice that you're nice. I try to be my version of nice, you know. So
Yeah.
and I think that it's like sometimes it's just like acknowledging people. And sometimes,
Yeah.
like, I get it. Like, some comics, Asperger's get the best of them. And, like, we will just have had a conversation a week before, and I will walk into a room, stare them in the eyes, and it's like, there's, like, glue on the ceiling, you know? I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like,
You're right.
rude.
There is also, that's another thing. Because me growing up, we didn't really know anything about, like, certain conditions.
That's just weirdo Johnny.
Yeah.
What autism? What he eats his own poop? Blah, blah, blah.
My dad would always be like, "Oh, you can't be introverted." So no one in my family is actually introverted. Bar one of my sisters is, but he would never really get his head around it.
Yeah.
And now, like, more things we're all learning. Like, oh, some people it's really uncomfortable for them to be like. Whereas I'm
Yeah.
more, I feel comfortable being friendly or making eye contact.
Right.
Or there's actually a comedian. It's so funny. Every time I see him at New York Comedy Club, and at this point I'm like, is he joking or has he got a condition? But he'll be like, it's so nice to meet you after we talk every time. And I brought him up multiple times, and one time he came in and he mixed me up with another white woman, but I was laughing in my head because I was like, I could never do that with him. Okay? Because he's not white and I would get in so much trouble. But he was like, oh, sorry, I just mixed you up with that other white girl. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. And I was like, it's fine, but you know.
And I think a lot of time it stems from like their own like insecurity, like, oh, I don't know if they remember me, or I don't know, and it's kind of like,
No, I think this guy really maybe he just has so much going on in his head, but it's also like I have an accent. It's not,
right.
it's not that hard, but he probably has like a million things.
You're unique, Katie. He should not mix you up with some other white woman. I hate him.
I don't mind. I also, as well, it's funny because like people get really annoyed about like white Americans here mixing up names, and if it's on purpose, like mispronouncing names, and if it's on purpose and it's a insulting, like to annoy someone, that is horrible. But I will say for anybody who's not white and listening to this, white Americans pronounce their own names wrong.
Right.
So like every single white Irish American is pronouncing their last name wrong. Like,
I am?
no, yours is fine,
What's
Feehan.
mine? Feehan?
Yeah, but like
But people want-
leggy is Leahy.
Okay.
They say Mahoney. Mahoney is Mahoney because Mahone is my arse. So no Irish person would be going around going, "Hi, my name is my arsey." Fucking idiots. But yeah, it's just because all the names got changed when they were coming to Ellis Island, I guess.
People like still they want my name to be Feehan, not Feehan.
Oh wait, what do you say?
I say Feehan.
Feehan, yeah.
Um,
Who says Feehan?
they just want that.
the
People are like,
Americans.
isn't it Feehan? And like my dad growing up would be like, whatever, however they fucking say it. If
Yeah.
they say Feehan, it's close enough, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like Feehan, Meehan, Sheehan. Like those are the Irish last names that
Yeah.
end in Ehan. People bring me. A guy brought me up at Uncle Vinny's. Feehan. Kerryn Feehan.
Hey, that's cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
All it makes
It's like
me
an Irish
think
fighter.
when somebody fucks up my name, all it makes me think is like, well, let's fucking hear it for her. Like, I don't care. She's about to kill.
Yeah.
This identity you've just created for me. I don't care.
People were calling me Haley Boyle when I started out here because there was already a Haley Boyle on the scene who
Oh,
I don't look anything like.
nothing.
But they just got the names mixed up.
Nothing like. Couldn't look less like.
Or Haiti because my name is actually Katie.
Yeah.
I don't pronounce the T. I do now because people kept being like, "Oh, Haiti," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm named after a fucking country that I'm not clearly not from." So, yeah, names are hard. But I also pronounce it, and I brought up a comedian, and his name is Matthew. But in Ireland, we say Matthew. And so I brought him up as Matthew, blah, blah. And he brought it up. And he was definitely trying to, like, joke about it. But it did feel
Bummed.
like... Well, I felt uncomfortable. Because he was like, it's Matthew. And I'm like, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure he was just trying to be playful. But I was like, no one cares.
Nobody's
no one
gonna
knows.
look cool trying to over enunciate the sound.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
we all...
Matthew.
Yeah.
It's Matthew.
And in Ireland, it's like, that's what it is. And
That's
4
right.
million people say Matthew there. So Matthew's better.
I like it. It sounds like
Yeah.
Machu Picchu.
He should be just like, oh, wow, she made my name sound fun. A musical.
Yeah, I was wondering how to pronounce someone's name, and I was like asking, and I couldn't find him. And another comic came up to me and gave me the incorrect pronunciation, and I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And I went back and I double checked, and I got the correct pronunciation. And I went up to him and I was like, "By the way," I was like, "You were fucking wrong."
Yeah, good.
It's like so mean to him.
I don't believe there's this comic and he's very sweet. His name is Luis Lopez.
Jay Gomez.
No, Lopez. But because it's Luis,
Luis.
I got so stressed about it because I kept thinking Lewis, and I was like, and he was like Luis, and I was like, so not Lewis, but Luis. Anyway,
They're both,
I
both
got
fucking Luis, first of all. Luis is just trying to stay out of jail.
Oh my God, I got so stressed out that when I brought it up on the stage, I was like, give it up for, and then I said Luis Gomez. And then as he's coming up, I'm like, I'm sorry, Luis Lopez.
That'd be funny. A bunch of like queer women like walk out.
No, and then he ended up doing my boyfriend's podcast, and he was texting me afterwards dying because on the podcast, he was like, oh, I hate it when people bring me up as Luis Gomez. And Elon was like, I know that was you.
It's like, why, buddy? He has more of a following than you. Like, why not?
It must be, I guess it's probably hard, but it's like, it's just, names are so fucking hard. It's so stressful when you're hosting a name.
Yeah.
Or one time a comic was like, I've brought him up a few times at New York, and I was like, so why would you like me to say for your credits again? And he looked at me like, my special? And I'm like, bitch, I have a life. I'm not going to remember your special. Tell me what it is. I had to go sit. And I was like, okay, great. And then I had to Google the name of it. It's annoying. I get so mad.
I think, the thing with like hosting used to be like, I think more respected. Like, if you were like clubs would specifically look for good hosts, and they would, use the same hosts, and they might
New York does that.
They might still do it, I think, to a certain extent, but I feel like at some places there's like we're losing like I knew all the comics who I was hosting for when I started hosting, you know what I mean? Like, and if I didn't know one, I would look it up. And now there seems to be like newer people hosting, and they're newer in the sense like they just started comedy like 2 years ago.
But what club is this that doing that? Because New York, well, New York I feel like has a good, consistent, regular, I think, I mean, I MC a lot there.
Yeah.
And I love hosting.
Yeah.
And the cellar as well, because as soon as everybody got promoted to hosting in the cellar, then we got promoted up. Like me, who else hosts there a lot? Well, Tommy already was hosting there a lot, and he's a great host.
Yeah. I just see it a little bit. I don't want to say where, but I just see it.
Yeah. No, I think the host should be like one of the stronger comedians on the lineup, because you're setting the tone. So that's like for my special, my plan is I'm gonna host it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set this. So that was my big idea with Brian. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Will be I go up there straight away. I host it. I do all my crowd work. I find out where they are. I set the tone for it. Then I do my material. I can go back and forth. Because most Irish comics, when they do their hours, they just go up themselves. I don't want to. I also don't really trust anybody else to. I love when I host. I get to know everything. I can be. Plus, I'll be watching them host, and then someone will go, "I'm from Japan," and I'll be sitting there going, "Oh, I got to think of a joke about Japan." And I'd rather it just be off the cuff. I want it to be like. Yeah. And just do the whole thing myself. And plus, women, we multitask. I want to do the whole thing myself. I want to be selfish. I want to take all the time myself.
Good for you.
And then I'll have Leland go on at the end. Just like, you know,
give them
maybe like Leland and Lindsay or something. Because like so that way I'm like covering my bases.
Right.
Not getting in trouble with the close people.
I think that's a smart way to do it, because when people seek out your special, they're looking for you.
Yeah. And that way I can open it up how I want to open it up, set the tone, talk to them. But yeah, that's why
It'd be funny if you came out with like a triangle. You like set the tone. You're like, we're gonna be in.
Well, I was also thinking about getting like snacks, like if I can afford it, getting all these like little party packets to put under their chairs.
I'll fund your snacks.
And when they get their checks, I'll be like, take it out, and there'll be like little bags of salt and vinegar Taytos and like Kit Kats.
Do they sell those here?
Yeah, they do.
Where do you get Taytos?
The butcher shop.
What butcher shop?
The butcher shop in Sunnyside, and
the
then
butcher shop in Sunnyside is Taytos.
And then I'm gonna ask Holly to do like cartoons of my jokes. So I already designed a few.
Yeah.
So that could be like the end of it, like little like the
perfect.
Yeah, isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
We did it all day. I'm excited. Pat's helping on it.
Good.
It's gonna be so much fun. You like this idea too, right? Okay, because I was nervous with it. I was like, am I mental? And then Brian was like, no, this, because then I was showing him like Dara O'Brien, and he like introduces himself, and he was like, no, I love this because it's just a little different, and
you want to stand out.
And then we'll have so much material to cut from.
Yeah.
And I will literally be sitting there pissed off if someone does something, or else I'll just be like annoyed that I know. I'll be like, I wanted to talk about them being an accountant. Why is this person now? Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, if you have somebody go up and host for you and they get like all the meaty crowd work laughs, it's kind of like, what about me?
Some of all of my best clips are from crowd work in hosting. Yeah. Because you just like. I
think we don't want to burn our material, so we like find like a good crowd work moment, and it's like, throw that shit up. Show them how good I am.
I don't even think of it as burning my material. I'm just like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
I think I love crowd work bits.
Right. Oh, I don't count crowd work as material.
Oh yeah, but I mean like, I'm not just posting them because I'm like afraid to burn material. I'm like, this is actually just fun. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because it's all in the moment.
I also burn so much material as well.
I think I'm getting sick of the, oh, that's your dad? Oh, is that your sister?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, stop. Like, that's your cousin? Like, it's just been done so many times. Yeah. Like, stop.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have been done so many times that you're like, you gotta avoid the tropes of.
Yeah.
But I think if you can make it original.
Have you watched Norm Macdonald's special?
No, I haven't watched the new one.
I'm like 20 minutes into it, and it's one of the first specials I've laughed out loud at in the longest time. I fell asleep, of course, because I don't know, I have like insomnia. I'm
gonna watch it, and you should watch Dara O'Brien.
I will. What is it on?
He's just on YouTube. He has loads of specials. The one I was watching today was
Darrow. Is that
Dara? So DARAGHGH. No, just O and A. Live at the Royal Theatre, but and then he has a special called Crack Dealer. But he has loads of specials, but they're just great.
Yeah.
And he does crowd work within his special.
I love it.
Me too. I'm excited.
I love crowd work. I think people like seeing crowd work because they feel seen, in the special. Like they're like, oh, I'm a weirdo too. Whatever they're like.
And then you can always cut it if it doesn't. But that's my plan anyway. On the Taytos.
I was gonna ask what your favorite hours were. I'm sorry.
My favorite album.
Hours, like you were saying specials and stuff.
I think Dara O'Brien. because I've watched most of his stuff over and over again. Or Tommy Tiernan.
Pat, you're like, how can we make this section more redundant? I'm sorry. It wasn't.
You know what?
You're not
talk
redundant.
about,
You're not
we should
redundant.
talk about
He's-
abortion.
I know.
Right?
Wait, like, is it allowed in Ireland or no?
So when I left here, and I have a bit about it on stage now, but when I left Ireland, it was illegal.
Okay.
And now it might be illegal here, which is wild to me, isn't it? But it's legal in Ireland since
I mean, these
2018,
fucking
2019.
losers, these evangelical fucking right-wing religious fucking nerds, like...
You know what they need to do? They need to stop forcing people to have babies and stop ruining the climate, because you're just forcing them to have babies that are going to die in 40 years anyway.
Of course.
So
I die poor and fat and sick and dumb and on pills.
it's all the people who want you to have babies are the ones who are also kind of like, I feel like, ruining the environment.
Yeah.
Because they fund the rich people, right?
They
I
hoard
might have this
all the
mixed
money.
up.
No, they hoard all the money so they can create generational wealth, and they create this like elitist mindset for their kids who like never have to work, so they never have ambition or good souls. And then like, so they don't have to think about all the real people out in the world who like work paycheck to paycheck, who have like good honest jobs that don't profit off the suffering of others. Like pharmaceutical, I don't care like what faction, I don't know what word I'm looking for, of that industry you work in, you're fucking gross. I don't see a lot of like highly moral people who can't wait to like sell antidepressants. Like they stink. What a shitty ambition in life. Like what, that's all you're going to contribute? You sell pills that like you don't even probably know anything about? You fucking suck. And it's like, but you're not allowed to be like, hey, we're all fat, sick, tired, and unhealthy because we're staying up too late. We're not getting sunshine. It's like, no, cover yourself in SPF and hats and like stay inside. And it's like, no, if you got a little vitamin D, your fucking metabolism would be faster and you would burn off the food you ate and you would crave healthier food, not fucking sugar that's just going to sweat through your pores.
But you can't even get healthy food. When I came over here, I put on weight, and which annoyingly so many comics never forget. I met a comic recently. I had weight on me for 6 months, and I was just like maybe a dress size and a half bigger. Yeah, it's completely ridiculous the amount of comics who be like, oh my god, you lost weight, and I'm like, yes, 7 years ago, cunt. And it was so annoying because
are those male or female comics?
both, unfortunately.
Fucking,
But
what?
well, male, and the one female was actually a lesbian, so but I don't know if that matters.
I don't know. It's just like if you like blow up in my face, like you know, you pull a lever or whatever. Like I think we can all comment
That
on your
is
weight.
wild. I didn't even recognize him. No
But-
offense, Lev.
No,
but
offense.
that
And
was
he's
a
on the
short
he's on the right
period.
track now. He searches his name. So hey, Lev.
Sorry, and he's not ugly or unattractive,
No,
but
he's
it was
so-
it was a quick.
Right.
It's
but
like worrying for your
7
health.
years ago, people are saying stuff.
And do you know what as well? I met a comic, and I have a point to say. But the thing is that there's a lot of salt in the food. And so it's easy for when immigrants come over, we put on a lot of weight, and then you can't buy. In Ireland, it's so easy to eat healthy, and
Yeah.
everything's like locally sourced. I don't eat dairy here. Dairy killed me here. It doesn't kill me at home.
Yeah, because
But-
it's all full of mucus and
It's wild.
antibiotics.
Crazy. But anyway, this comic, recently I was with Leclerc, and Leclerc goes, oh, he was talking to this comic, and he goes, do you know Katie? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, we met years ago. And he was like, and I go, I'm the Irish girl. And then he went, oh, you've lost weight.
What a fucking cocksucker.
Also, this motherfucker has put on weight in the
Yeah,
last
I'm
7
sure.
years. So
No,
I-
unless you look like me or Katie, don't comment on people's bodies.
I mean, just in
No,
general.
no.
Never.
If you're perfect looking like me and Katie,
Oh,
you can
I'm
comment
not.
all you want.
Carolyn's posted some
But-
photo that made me text my boyfriend today saying we're going for a run. I haven't ran in like 2 years, but it might. I don't know what angle.
Just
I look
lift
like I had
weights.
big, really chunky legs. Like
Just
anyway,
lift weights.
They're
Don't-
just
you
what?
don't have to run. Just lift weights.
lift weights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my boyfriend needs to run as well. So,
What are you running from? You don't do cardio.
really?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna work out tomorrow because he even
Get a
himself has
kettlebell.
been like,
Each get a kettlebell.
Because you know what happens when you get into a relationship?
Yeah.
You just put on weight.
Of course, you're comfy. You're doing like
You're
you're on the couch.
happy.
You're watching TV. You're eating. You're feeding it to him. It's like cupcakes. It's like let's order ice cream. Let's not even go get it. Let's have someone bring us ice cream.
Yeah, so I've been really brutal because you know Lindsay Tyson, she
Yeah.
was like had like a bad edible, and then we had to go pick her up, and then she started it was so funny. She started being like, I hate when all these guys like catfish these girls and they're like working out before they get them and then they just stop, and it's like so unfair if a girl did that to a guy. And then afterwards my boyfriend was like, oh my God, did I do that to you? Because he'd gone through a bad breakup. Then that whole year he was single, he got like super like fit, like the fittest he's ever been. Then I started dating him and it all went downhill. But I was like, I love you. I think you're great no matter what. But I do think like in regards to Lev, it's a quick speed. And I said, it's up to you, but it is a quick and you will probably get unhealthy. So he was like, no, we gotta like, and I was even saying, because my doctor said the opposite. I was malnutrition. And she was like, you have to exercise. Yeah. So even though I'm 10. Well,
you'll love each other more if you start working out together.
We're starting tomorrow, so it's exciting.
Yeah.
And
you'll probably like want to have sex after. You'll go eat good food afterwards. Like,
yeah, and I just think as well, it's like people, you know, it's such a touchy subject because, you know, you don't want to like fat shame, but it's also like in a quick period.
I love you. I want you to be your best self.
And in a quick period where you, like, same as myself, when I put on the weight over here, my dad, and he denies it now, but he called me and was like, are you eating too many French fries over there? What's going on? He denies it now, but like also it's like, yeah, because if I don't want to, it's not my natural weight.
Right.
So
it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, there's some people where it's like their natural body size.
Right.
So it's like, okay, that suits you. And
my
boyfriend wasn't fitting in his clothes
with an
anymore.
Extra 4-pound tumor on your head, people would be like, what's going on your head?
And whatever even I said to him, I was like, buy bigger size clothes and whatever you're happier with. But he was like, I'm buying bigger size, but I'm actually happier at the size below. So I was like, yeah, so we'll work together. And I need that anyway because I'm unfit. Like, I'm so unfit. I might be skinny, but
you'll like really probably start to enjoy it, especially if you do it together.
Yeah.
You guys should maybe like get a little trainer, go take a class. Like, what are you gonna? I mean, I get people. I think, and running is fun, but running is not going to. There's somebody who
but running will help me be able to breathe walking
sure
upstairs.
And that's why
I need that.
That's what I do why I do cardio too, because I have asthma. So like a spin class or like I jog with her a little bit here and there, but I consider that supplemental. That's not the foundation of my working out. All my working out is lifting heavy weights, like 25-pound dumbbells.
I'll have to show you my Irish friend. She's a workout girl, Shauna A. Doyle. If anybody wants to go creep on her, she's got a big fat arse, but it was all like, and she was showing me all these like
deadlifts.
Well, not even that, like people who wear like pants that are like, they get these models to wear implants, you know, like
in
workout.
the leggings.
And then she was like, to actually have the arse she gets up at like 6 a.m. every morning. Like she's like, it's like a really like rigorous workout.
Intense. Yeah. They're like, but it doesn't have to be like, I've taken workout classes where I've lifted the heaviest I've ever lifted and I barely sweat. Yeah. And you fucking feel it. And you just walk around feeling like, fuck, I'm fucking strong as fuck. That. I want to kick people.
I don't like sweating. It's bad. Or like, you know, where you're like, what's this word? Like, ha ha ha. What's that? Ha ha ha. You know, exerted. God help my future child. It's gonna be the biggest idiot in the world. Exerted, you know, when you're
overexerted, like heat exhaustion. That's what Mabel gives herself.
It's bad for rosacea. So running is actually bad if you have rosacea.
Yeah.
I have to put like, I was looking at all my clips because my rosacea is so bad, and especially on stage, or if any sort of emotion flares, or if I drink a lot of tea or anything, or if I can't drink alcohol before a set, good luck, I'll be big red faced. But especially here, so like the last week, what I've been doing is just putting like a little bit of powder there, and I noticed it actually changes it. It kind of blocks out the little red. It was when like one of the managers at the club pointed it out. I was like, I gotta fix this.
Yeah. I used to be allergic to alcohol so much that I would break out in like little red splotches, like all over my chest and face.
Yeah, that's like rosacea.
Yeah, it was only when I was like binge drinking.
Yeah. And you still off the booze?
4 years.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to get so blotchy and have an asthma attack to go along with it.
That's
and
not
I would
worth
so
it.
fucking drink. At that point, I would either start looking for cocaine. So I'm like, we gotta fucking combat this with some good quality blow. I'm so glad I don't do cocaine anymore. Although I did see a viral video of a cop that overdosed because he was exposed to fentanyl. Didn't take it or ingest it, was just exposed to it. So I like to call that video out as a fraud and a lie, because I don't think it's real, because I looked up, can you die from exposure or overdose, and you can't. That's another story.
I mean, unless fentanyl was in the cocaine. He sneezed. It blew back in his face.
Right. He just like opened a box with like and like said he saw it, and the next thing you know, he's on the ground, and the officer's like administering Narcan to him.
Jesus. But who knows? I just read an article yesterday about a woman who had a stroke mid-orgasm. But
that's gonna happen to me.
No, I had to double check everything because
Okay.
I didn't want to be spreading gossip, and it said she had high blood pressure. So again, you just gotta stay healthy.
You do.
Stay healthy. They actually, an article I was reading yesterday because I was reading it for my podcast. They said that if you exercise and work out, it's better for your sex life. It helps with your libido.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
What do you think all these hot bodies walking around the gym? What do you think everybody's doing it for? They're all fucking. It's all just like such intense sexual energy.
Really?
And it's like
they scare me.
It's not like you're like staring
I
or
would
whatever.
never have sex with one of those.
One of the big gym guys.
Yeah.
I don't want a big gym guy, but I like a good sized gym guy. I don't want one that's like too like this. But it's just like you feel that energy walking around because it's more than just like everybody's body types, right? It's like, it's a lot of like tight tummies and fat asses and guys with nice arms. But it's also just kind of this like mindset of like people that are like, I nourish myself in this way and I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm like proud of my body and proud of what it can do. And like, you're like silently supporting other people doing that too.
Yeah.
It's fucking turns me on.
I like football lads. They're good.
Yeah.
'Cause
Football like soccer or football like football?
Gaelic football. So it's like
Rugby.
no, it's just Gaelic football. I just keep saying
what
the same.
other different rules?
No,
like,
yeah, it's an Irish sport, and the lads.
mosquito bite.
There was actually a fun podcast where it's called The Two Johnnies, but they're like big guy heads. But anyway, they like found out this woman in Ireland was like catfishing all these like hot guy players. But anyway, they're super hot and they wear
Was
little
it
shorts.
you? Were you the one?
Paul Mescal, you know the guy from It Wasn't Me.
Yes, from the movie Normal People.
Yeah,
he's
he's
so
like
hot.
a Gaelic footballer in it. You know, they always have thick ties and they're kind of just they're just like kind of more modest as well.
You said thick ties, but why isn't
big
it
shoulders?
Why isn't it tick ties?
Yeah, I know. Matthew. Poor Matthew. He's a nice person.
Matthew, gesundheit.
But
Thank you.
yeah. So wait, what was I gonna say about the
We're just
workout
talking
people?
about guys.
Oh, but I dated a guy over here who was like a UFC guy for a while.
Yeah.
But he was very strange. He had these weird like insecurities. Like, I don't care that he does UFC, but he kept bringing it up like, I'm never going to quit. And I was like, whatever.
That's so funny. Like, especially if he was like mildly successful. And
It wasn't even his full-time job.
Right. I'm never giving this dream. You can't make me. You're like, I
was
like
like-
it when you're away.
Do you ever find though that men are having, I only date men, so I can only speak for men.
Yeah.
But men are having arguments with you that's not for you. It's like a past girlfriend.
100%.
Because I'm like, Dad, I didn't say this.
100%.
I didn't do this. Do you
This
want me to
guy-
call up your ex?
This guy I was talking to, like, has implicated multiple times that he wants to attempt comedy, and he'll say things like, "I want to leave my mushroom. I want to leave my mark on this world." And
Oh,
like,
well then don't do it via comedy.
right. And I just like have always, I'm like, he and I like kind of chatted in the past and then stopped and then reconnected recently, and I had forgotten that this is why I didn't like him.
Yeah.
And he was, and I would be like, "Can you not?" I'm like, "Don't do comedy."
Do you know what you should tell him? If he wants to leave his mark on the world, tell him to just do an Instagram post talking about Israel versus Palestine. I'm telling you, he'll get a lot of comments and views on that. He'll leave a right on mark, whatever side he picks.
Right, like, that's so funny.
You know the UFC guy as well, he didn't go down on me, but he had an amazing penis. But I felt like because of his muscles, he was a selfish lover. Whereas my boyfriend isn't like, he thinks I'm better than him. I don't believe that, but he thinks that.
Keep it that way.
But he's
Katie.
always been like a
Whatever you gotta do.
very generous lover, and he makes me tea every morning. But I did imply that Irish men make women tea every morning, so I think he thinks he's respecting my culture.
He is. That's so fucking cute.
Yeah.
I used to make my boyfriend.
Irish men don't do that though.
I make coffee for every, not even just boyfriends, every guy who sleeps over.
It
Coffee.
should be.
Of course. You're a host.
I find as well, like in Ireland, you'd always, when someone comes over, you always make them tea and have biscuits. And sometimes I've been brought over to people's houses. Now you offered, which was great. But sometimes people don't do that here, and I'm like, oh, it's like a little cultural difference. But you're also like you're Irish.
Yeah,
You're full Irish.
it's interesting. Since Maple, I usually have snacks. I
was so embarrassed. I didn't have snacks when my friend called over the other day, and I texted her afterwards. It's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't have any biscuits for you.
I know. It's only because Mabel has been knocking things. Like, we can't even do coffee anymore, really, because Mabel knocks things over with her tail. But I typically like to have like a little fruit and crackers or whatever.
Yeah, I lived with two guys for a long time, and their friends would come over, and then I would come in, and their friend would be sitting there, and they wouldn't have even given them water, and I'd be like, do you want water?
Right.
And they were like, oh yeah, thank you. They're parched, like.
Yeah, I can't tell. I mean, again, like back to the manners thing. I can't tell you how many times just you can fucking call him. I'll fucking call him out. He was there with his girlfriend at the stand the other night, and I probably met her once.
Yeah, and
right?
she's lovely.
Lovely. But it's Colum's responsibility to go, Kerryn, you remember so-and-so.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's just standing there, hey, Kerryn. And then I glance at her and look at her. And it's just and it's so the fucking male ego. I don't know what goes on in their head. Of course, if Colin was here, he'd be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck cares? Whatever. It's my girl.
Colum's so defensive. He's there's another comedian that he reminds me of that does that. You can't even be like, hey, is it okay that you don't do that next time? They're like, what the fuck, you got a problem with trees?
Yeah,
I didn't even say trees.
But it's like, no, can you just like have like the common decency? Like, you're there with your girlfriend. There's all comics there, like we're friends. Hey, Kerryn, you remember Dida? So I can be like, oh yes, because I don't remember her fucking name because I only met her one time. I'm looking at her like smiling like a dude, like trying to bridge, make a connection, and he's just like doesn't, and it bugs me. And I see men do it all the time. I can't tell you how many times I have to be like, hi, I'm Kerryn, because they act like these chicks are fucking appendages. Shane Gillis is excellent at introducing and reintroducing me to his girlfriend every time she's there, and she's fucking great. What's her fucking name? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's
shout
another
out
comic
to Shane Gillis for having manners.
There's another comic I love, and I'm completely blanking on his name, and he's my friend. I'm just having one of those moments where I'm blanking on his name, but he does the same. He'll introduce his girlfriend, and it's you want to do that. That just shows they're a healthy boyfriend, because you want to be like introducing them, like, oh,
make
this
them
is
comfortable.
this is a female comic, this is a friend, because sometimes girls are like scared of girls.
Of course, I'm probably wearing a crop top. When I walk in, I'm probably like shaking my ass on the other comics, and like Colin's like, hey, Kerryn, what's up? And if that was my boyfriend, I'd be like, who's that slut? Yeah, who the fuck is that slut? Introduce me to that slut so she knows I can fight her. Yeah, whatever it is, it's just like it gets my blood going. The rudeness.
I'm with you on that.
When they really treat their girlfriends like fucking appendages, I don't care if you're just fucking her. If she's in the mix, what's her fucking name? What, is my pussy out?
And it's not even just fucking her. Some of these are long-term partners.
No,
Pat,
I know.
I've seen your vagina so much.
So much. Yeah, look at all this hair. It's from my pussy. No, all right, we're wrapping this up. Some people are so great at it. And yeah, some people, Sal Volcano, pre and post marriage would always be like, you remembered, It is. It's just like, it's not chivalry. It's not over the top. It's common decency. I do it with people I'm not dating. If you bring a friend around, oh, this is my friend so-and-so.
And it's really hard, I think, as a woman to date a male comedian, because a lot of them are on the road, and there's a lot of them that we hear about having affairs.
They're cheaters.
So I'm not saying
they're
all of
rock
them.
Stars. They're sad inside. They're trying to fill a hole.
Well, that's the thing. If you're kind of not super attractive, but women love funny, so it's kind of women's fault anyway, because they put you on a pedestal, and you get all this vagina thrown at you. So sometimes they don't say no, and we know that, and I'm sure women who are dating comics kind of know. So it's better when you're around to be like, this is my girlfriend. Yeah. Like, make her feel like seen, and that she's like, oh yeah, I'm the girlfriend, and just make her very comfortable. Like, my boyfriend, when I first moved over, or for a long time, super uncomfortable with like public displays of affection. So when me and my boyfriend, we started dating, we go out to places, I would kind of step back when he put my arm around me, and he was like, why are you doing that? That like hurts my feelings. And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm just embarrassed by, and he was like, but it's fine, we're together, we're not like, and I was like, oh, okay. So now like I'll make sure like to like, and for him too, because he's coming out, I have so many guy friends that like he wouldn't even, he's constantly meeting new guy friends from different parts of comedy that he's just not in that world yet. Yeah,
at least he's like a comic, so he can like kind of like feel it out and like have like he'll have his own confidence. My ex, who wasn't a comic, he never was able to bridge that.
That was true. Remember my scary Russian? We
Yeah.
say Russian, but he's not really Russian. He just told me to say Russian, but he's actually Slovakian. But whatever. Remember that guy? And he'd always be like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
And he'd be just sitting there glaring at them, and
Yeah.
the comics be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you're inside me every night. Like, shake these guys' hands. Like, let them know. Like, pee on me. Like fucking get a grip.
Jack Comstock gave me a belt once, and then my ex, I was like, he was like, where'd you get that belt? And I was like, oh, mine broke, so Jack gave me this. And I was living with Jack at the time.
Right.
And he was like,
Lost his mind.
he like did it in a weird way, like not a
Passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. He like was like, I don't like it, use mine. He made me put on his, and then he put the other one in like the bin in the trash can. And then I was like, why'd you do that? And he was like, it's not nice. This is nicer. And I was like, I was so confused by it all at the time, but now in the future, like
now you play
now
it
in the
back,
present,
you're
I'm like,
yeah.
that was fucking weird.
You should have been like, can I still wear this one around my neck though?
Yeah.
Okay, this was a great episode. Mabel, you did okay. Katie, you did excellent.
Yay.
Tell all of we probably have the same fans, but tell them where you're going to be and where they can find you and how they can support you.
So at Katie Boyle Comic on everything, I have the podcast The Shift, which Kerryn's been on before, and hopefully will come on again soon.
Anytime.
Okay, great. And then follow me everywhere, but come to the special in September. Still finalizing dates, but yeah, do that.
Yeah.
You'll get to see me host and middle and close.
I'll pack it out.
Okay.
That'll be great.
Love yous.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
It's only Feehans.